Did we need this? We need to do this quickly. We are on time constraints. Fuel the chaos. I just finished a Court of Frost and Starlight. The titles are all so similar. I finished the teeny tiny novella that comes between the first 3 acotars and the next 3. I honestly don't know how many there's gonna be. And I feel like not that much happened here. If you are new to the acotar world and you have not read these 3 books, Katelyn put these in post. You're going to need to leave. We don't have time to preface. We gotta get going. Okay, so the war is over. Things are not great, and Valeris is basically destroyed. Feyre meets Resina. I think I've been reading that Resenia for about all 200 pages of this. Let's go with Resina. Resina is an artist. She invites Feyre to come to like a paint night. It's basically, what are those called? Wine and design? Where you go and drink and paint. Feyre's still pretty weird about painting right now. She still struggles to paint after like Under the Mountain encounters and the war. It's hard for her to be creative and also to feel like she can take the time to be creative because so much stuff has been destroyed in their lives. I can understand where she's coming from when she feels like it's a waste of time to do something for her, really, when she has all this money and she is kind of one of the few people in this entire city that can start the rebuilding process. And that's a big theme in this mini book, is that Rhysand and Feyre are just under mountains of paperwork after the war. I don't want to read about paperwork. I was not particularly interested in the shopping. They are having Christmas or winter solstice, which is cute. Like, I think this felt like Christmas acotar fanfic, but like well written. I love Sarah J Maas's work. I just felt like this was her having fun, which is great. Like, there's extra content. I just thought that this was really like a mandatory part of the series, because if you've read Throne of Glass, like that series, The Assassin's Blade and Tower of Dawn, those are non-skippable. You can't go through that series and be like, I'll go back and read those later. Especially Tower of Dawn. Mor has an encounter with her dad, and it's really awkward because he was a horrible human being to her, and she says, truth is your gift, truth is your curse. Like, she's talking to herself. So, does Mor have some sort of truth power, or am I reading far too into this? Tamlin is not doing well, apparently, and Lucien went to visit him. They have weird vibes right now. Lucien is like Elaine's mate. That's not going well. And then Tamlin and Lucien have all these issues between them now because, you know, Lucien left Tamlin, even though Tamlin was kind of a jerk all of the entire series. Their friendship is on the rocks, to say the least. Can we please talk about the fact that Amryn is in like a fae body, which she was before, apparently a different one. I picture Amryn as like Edna Mode from The Incredibles. That's never gonna leave my mind. It was the short hair for me and the eyes. But now that she's, you know, she gave up her godlike powers at the end of, which one was it? A Court of Wings and Ruin. So now she's just normal fae. And she's at the dinner table complaining to everyone about how she has to find a place to relieve herself everywhere she goes. And that blood tasted better than actual food, and she like is having a hard time eating because she would rather eat blood. What a character, what a gem that we have. Everyone's trying not to die laughing. Oh, at this dinner too, Elaine had brought out food, and Asriel, can we just momentarily talk about this love triangle that's getting set up here with Asriel, who is the sweetest and still in love with Mor, and then Elaine, who everyone hates Elaine. I really just feel bad for Elaine. She just seems like a very like sweet, soft soul that went through a horrible like reckoning in that cauldron. She came out of fae and she lost love for life, who was like a jerk because he hates fairies. Off topic, but when Elaine came in with the food and Asriel took it and they have like a moment. Elaine does not like Lucien. and refuses to hang out with him and or talk to him, which is driving Lucien insane because she's his mate officially. At least we think so. Because, I mean, what if he got the wrong feels? What if he just went, wow, she's really pretty, and then accidentally thought that was the mate, like, bond? Things to think about. But then Azriel should have felt it. So we did get like a little, like, just one-off sentence of like, oh, you don't have to be with your mate, like, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. There are soulmates in this universe. But at the same time, like, I like Azriel and Elaine like 10 times more. On the other hand, Nesta is just being a horrible person. At least Elaine is sort of trying. Nesta has decided to live in like a super run-down apartment that Feyre and Rhysand pay for, by the way, and just drink every single night. Nesta's used to like riches because she was when she was young. She really resented when they lived in that shack in their human life, and then she got all of that back and then turned into a fairy, and now she's back to living in like just a hole in the wall, and it really just confuses me. I know that she has a lot of emotions, but at the same time, like, her anger is just pissing me off. Like, she's not even gonna come home for Christmas. They live like 5 seconds away. She's not even gonna show up. Well, she does later. But at first, we're like, she's not gonna come home for Christmas. Elaine's gonna be heartbroken. Feyre's gonna be sad about it. She can't suck it up for like 5 seconds. I know that she went through a lot. And I know she didn't want to be a fairy, and that she has a lot of weird extra power from the cauldron. All the more reason that she needs to let out the magic and just talk to people. Also, apparently, Nesta has been talking to Amren. Amren has said nothing about this, obviously. Amren and Nesta are on the same wavelength rage-wise. Nesta's apparently been confiding at least a little bit in Amren, and she, I think, sees some of herself in Amren. Like, the two of them realize, like, they match in weird ways. All that Feyre can really do is tell Amren, like, hey, if Nesta talks to you, can you please tell her to come for Christmas? Is it time to talk about the snow fort? Because that was hilarious. It's like solstice day. Feyre wakes up. She's like, oh, finally, like, my first real holiday with my new family. And then Rhys and Cassian and Azriel leave, like, giggling together. And I was like, they're not going shopping. They would not be that happy about going shopping. Mor eventually wakes up after being just plastered the night before. And she's like, I'll show you, like, what's going on. She takes her to the cabin. You know the cabin. And Rhysand, Azriel, and Cassian are having a snowball fight, and it's been going on for hours in the freezing cold. That sounds horrible. I'm with Mor and, like, let's just stay inside. It is adorable. They've been doing this for like hundreds of years, and they're acting like little kids on like a holiday. It's really cute. It's just like scenes like this are adorable, and I love knowing them, but at the same time, like, I feel like we didn't need an extra middle, if that makes sense. A moment like this could have been sprinkled into a regular Sarah J Maas book. She knows how to put in like the fun and romance and cutesy stuff with the absolute devastation of your soul into just one package. Lucien comes for Solstice, and he tells Feyre, like, you and your mate should know better than to kick a male while he's down. Because Rhysand had visited Tamlin, and truly was like, Tamlin's house is a tomb. No one's left. The borders are basically unprotected. He doesn't want Rhysand to send backup, even though, like, they still haven't secured the border, and there's still danger just lingering, waiting for something like Tamlin going down to happen. And Rhysand's like, Tamlin's waiting for somebody to just come kill him, which is really, really sad. But at the same time, Tamlin has a mate out there somewhere. He loved Feyre. I get it. They weren't, like, together that long. I'm gonna leave that over there because I don't want to say that he should just get over her, because he was in love, but at the same time, he's letting everything go down, and Feyre's, like, with Rhysand has been for a while. Anyways, Lucien is like, you're gonna need Tamlin later. So later, Rhysand shows up and, like, cooks Tamlin's food because Tamlin can't be bothered, basically. And he, like, magically cooks it and tells Tamlin to eat. I'm just kind of lost on that storyline. It just seemed so random. Lucian leaves. First of all, he left behind gifts for Farah and Elaine. And then Nesta shows up. No gifts, just raging, because Farah was like, if you want to like have the rest of your apartment paid for, you should show up to Solstice. And Cassian and Nesta do not speak at all. This is what happened at the end of Akabor, when Cassian was like, my only regret is not having more time with you, and Nesta was ready to sacrifice her life to save him. What happened in between there? I don't remember them having a falling out at all. Like, I would get it if she was like scarred by war, she needs time to heal, but not to the point where she hates Cassian the most out of everyone. Maybe she's mad because they don't have like, do they have the mating bond? I don't think so. It hasn't snapped in yet. They have to be together. I mean, I've seen the TikToks, you guys. Can we also talk about how Cassian and Moore got each other bright red lingerie for Christmas even though they're not together? I love that Moore is a horrible gift giver and that she gave Azriel towels that matches siphons. What even? They all have to act like they like it too. It's so funny. Okay, also Elaine to Azriel gives him, like a tonic powder to mix in with any drink because everyone gives him headaches and she thought it would help. And like, okay, I'm sorry. Then Azriel tipped his head back and laughed. When have we ever seen that happen? When else have we ever seen that happen? When else have we ever seen Elaine like have fun with somebody in the crew? Like for real. Love triangle's gonna stress me out. I'm like kind of like, I'm a little over love triangles at the moment. Like just give me all, just every single relationship could be the enemies to lovers arc and it would not get old for me like at all. I don't want to deal with Lucian and Azriel competing. First of all, because I love Azriel way more, but I know that Lucian is her mate and so Azriel's gonna have to end up with someone and I don't know who that is because Moore is gonna end up with the Swan Princess. Okay, let's get to like, I think, probably the main point of the setup is that Farah has decided she's ready to have a Fae baby. And Rhysand basically gives her the, like, don't worry about the cost, just build us a huge home for, you know, all their family with Cassian, Azriel, Nesta, everybody to live together, plus a nursery, plus an art studio, whatever you want. First of all, incredible. Second of all, like, I knew the baby was coming because I've seen the pictures on Instagram, but like, it seems like if you just got out of a war and stuff isn't secured yet, maybe hold off for a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Make sure it's secured. I think if you read the acknowledgments in the back, Sarah J Maas wrote this while she was pregnant, and I feel like you could feel like that love and like baby excitement in the writing, and I did like that. Like that's why, like, sometimes these extra novellas that don't do anything for, like, plots are kind of fun because you feel the writer having fun, but at the same time, like, that could have been one scene in, like, an epic book. You know what I mean? Also for Christmas, so, like, there was this whole thing about, Farah had to look in this weird mirror and see who she really was inside. And it was like this weird monster jaguar thing. And she painted it and she made this big deal about like hiding it from everyone in this like corner between realms where she kept everything. And then she just gave it to him for Christmas. Didn't explain what it was. I mean, I guess Rhys knew she could have told him down the bond or whatever, but I wanted to see that conversation. Like, I felt like that was such a vulnerable place. Like, if she really was like, this is the monster inside me and I never want anyone to see it, I can't tell Rhysand about it, and then all of a sudden she gives him the picture for Christmas, it just make it make sense. Make it make sense. Also, Farah and Rhysenia are starting like an art therapy school, mostly for kids, but for anybody, it's free. And I think that's gonna be really like cool to watch the kids' pictures change as things rebuild in their lives, because they've basically been through this huge trauma. and they're healing from it, and that's what she's trying to do through the artwork, which I think was lovely. I just think it could have happened in another book. If we like didn't have this one, we still would have gotten all this information. Basically, this whole thing just stressed me out about the love triangle and got me really confused about Nesta and Cassian and why Nesta seems to hate his guts. I don't know. I don't know what's up with something else has to be happening with Nesta. It's probably like the over of like power. And I think she's gonna have to train Cassian, because I've seen inklings about that in like the next, you know, like the preview to the next book, where she's gonna get forced to train with Cassian, and all this extra power is gonna come out, and with the power is gonna come out the trauma and the fears, the emotions, and Cassian's gonna be right there to see it all and to be there for her. And then they're gonna fall in love. And that's my theory. Thank you for listening to the rambling. Let me know if you read this, or if you're just here because you heard that you didn't need to read this, really. Please like this video if you liked it, and click subscribe if you want to talk about more book stuff. We'll be reading the rest of this series and talking extensively. My name's Katelyn. Thanks for watching. Bye!